Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last episode of Ewoks.
I know.
I am excited.
Thrilled to see it go.
The podcast is over. The great Ewoks rewatch.
Yeah, the podcast is over.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
No, wait. That's not all that we were doing. We were doing things
What?
before.
There's more to Star Wars than this cartoon. Is that what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I am excited now. I hope we get more of that outer space stuff we saw in the other episode.
Hopefully.
The great Ewok venture is over. Now it's like the great Bungie venture, right? Isn't that what it was called?
Yeah, oh yeah, that classic made-for-TV ABC feature film for families, whatever.
The amazing Bungie venture.
Bungie Venture? What?
It's very random. I doubt anybody has heard of it. We found it on video at, like, the library when we were kids.
We watched it when we were kids and remembered it as some kind of fever dream.
But, like, that's the same reaction people might have to this Ewoks cartoon series.
Oh, yeah.
If they'd only seen this once as a kid. Like, Cody, you said you saw this.
Yeah, vaguely remember.
Doesn't it feel like the kind of thing, if we didn't have the option of finding it on YouTube now, I think we might just think back on that and say, was that even a real thing?
Yeah.
Come back in weird dreams you have.
Mm-hmm. Or just some random thing will bring it up from your past. Like, why did I think of that?
What was that show?
Were there really, like, elephant creatures with silly accents sneaking around the village?
Riding animal motorcycles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
no,
biker
these guys
gangs
do.
roaming around Endor. It can't be real. But it is.
It is.
This pair of episodes are called Party Ewok and Malani the Warrior from December 13th of 86, and thus ended Star Wars.
All of Star Wars, as we know.
For a long time. They didn't really make anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, and not televised anyway. They kept doing comics and, toys and things.
Yeah, books, games.
But even that, I think there was kind of a lull for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how early they started working on the prequels as far as writing scripts and getting ideas developed.
Yeah, well, I was looking at, what was it called? That magazine?
Oh, Star Wars Insider?
Star Wars Insider. And they were talking about the prequels, like, in the mid-90s.
Well, the movie came out in 99, so yeah, mid-90s would have only been 4 or 5 years. And George Lucas says he always had plans for, who knows, lots of different movies, multiple trilogies.
Yeah, I want to try to look into find a whole lot more. Just like interviews with Lucas.
It's definitely like a short Dark Ages period between.
Yeah, and it really wasn't that long, because when did Heir to the Empire, that book? Early 90s?
91.
Yeah, so there's a period of like 4 or 5 years there. That kind of, I think, reinvigorated people's interest in it, because then you got those books, and then you got Shadows of the Empire was like 95 or 6. They had games.
90s is when they started Super Nintendo and stuff, or the original Nintendo had the first Star Wars games on it. So it was only a few years before they kind of came back in full force with some stuff. But yeah, the series kind of ends on a whimper here.
Yeah, and this was the end of the, you could call it the original run of Star Wars.
Right.
There'd been something almost every year until this point.
Did they show these on TV, like as reruns in the 90s? Because I never saw them.
It said they did a couple of times. I think the Sci-Fi Channel picked them up like really early on in their existence.
Of course they did. Should we talk about Party Ewok? It's not quite what I was hoping for.
What a way to end it.
I mean, it's more of your standard Ewoks episode.
Yeah. Nisa hosts a boring party where she tries to show her friends her acorn collection. And then Chief Chirpa informs Nisa that Prince Delby is visiting and tasks her with organizing the welcoming party. Wicket, Tebow, and Baga put up posters, which draws the attention of a gang called the Pugs. The Pugs trash the party, and when Nisa finds the Pugs in her father's hut, they kidnap her. Wicket, Tebow, and Latara chase after them in a cart pulled by Baga and rescue her. The Pugs are then fooled off the pursuit by a decoy party sign made by Wicket. pointing in the direction of the Duloc swamp. In the end, Prince Delby arrives and asks Nisa if she wants to look at his acorn collection. Oh.
I never would have guessed that would happen. Just kidding, I totally called it.
Yeah, you're good at predicting these.
Well, it's not that hard. They make it pretty obvious. Very tropified.
Tropify.
I like that word.
Tropify.
Is that a spell?
Yeah.
They did another fun little episode title thing where it is sort of seems like those words exist in the image somewhere. Like that last episode, you had some munyips pointing at the title, and in this one, you're panning across the forest, and an owl gets startled by the giant words that go by him.
Yeah, he does look great.
Yeah, but they pan over and show everybody's sleeping for this party that Nisa is supposedly throwing, I guess. I don't know.
Apparently, it's just that boring of a party. Everyone has already fallen asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
They haven't even gotten to the acorn collection yet. I can't believe it.
It's like she left to go get her acorns, and everybody fell asleep in the meantime, yeah. It's more like a slumber party, she jokes.
But yeah, some prince is gonna come and visit.
Yeah, Chirpa's like, I have to go away somewhere, and I think he wants to give Nisa some responsibility.
Right. She's supposed to be taking the reins of
Right.
government someday.
He says, look at how good you are at organizing parties. Latar is all excited to meet a prince. She doesn't even care who it is.
She's had some bad experience with other princes in previous episodes.
Yeah, okay.
That frog guy tried to steal her. But yeah, so now that there's a prince coming, she's ready to get a party going. So Latar is helping her plan everything. Gives her a great party costume to wear. She kind of looks like Cleopatra.
Yeah, you're right. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins, so yeah, actually, that's pretty good comparison. Yeah, so Wicket's hanging up these posters. Apparently, Ewokese has a written language.
Yeah, we've seen it once or twice before.
Yeah.
Well, and we've seen a lot of hieroglyphic stuff, though, too. With, like, some scrolls and stuff. Instead of having writing, they just do.
Yeah, and there's scrolls. That's hieroglyphic. That's probably like ancient Ewok.
Ah.
This is more
Yeah.
sophisticated.
Cuneiform, for all you language history buffs out there.
Wow. But apparently everything knows how to read it. So whatever these mole people come over, they're like, oh, a party,
Woo!
Yeah, so everybody sees the party announcements.
including a tree, who doesn't seem very excited about it. Not nearly as excited as this weird creature, though. This thing doesn't have a name, but man, it is excited for a party.
It's a party animal.
Hey.
Perfect. I'm already making the article on it.
Yeah, but then we see the bad boys showed up. The pugs.
Pugs. The motorcycle gang of
How do you
Endor.
spell that?
Just like a pug? P-U-G-S?
P-U-G? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were saying thugs.
Yeah.
Pugs. All right.
They ride around on creatures called vrooms. Very clever.
Really? They make motorcycle noises.
I know.
And the rooms have these antlers that are just like motorcycle handlebars that they can grab and drive them around. It's so dumb.
It's really dumb.
These guys are like, I don't even know how I would describe them. They're kind of fat, alligator-ish things.
They're like Gamorreans or something, you know, like pig guys.
They're very large.
Yeah. It's kind of like Wario. He rides around on a motorcycle, you know, and he's just so fat. Like,
Has the giant nose like these guys.
yeah.
And they just keep saying stuff like, oh, party, oh yeah, we gotta go crash that party, man.
There's gonna be babes there.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
It was so not Star Wars or Ewok at all.
Right. This feels like another one of these generic plots. Pretty bad.
1986, everybody.
Yeah, and they think that this is the prince.
Oh, that's right, because he hasn't showed up yet.
Yeah. They don't know what the prince looks like. And this guy really makes an entrance.
I don't know how they assume that this guy is the prince. It's so.
Yeah, where are all the adults in this situation?
They're just sitting here, and they think so too, because like Logray is just like,
Yeah.
King Chirpa is sorry that he couldn't be here. Right, but the party animal knew who they were.
The party, yeah, right. The party animal is the one that tells them that's no prince. They're just thugs.
Well, I guess probably because the party animal goes to a lot of parties, so he's familiar with these guys who show up at parties.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. So they run off with Nisa, and I guess the party animal tells Wicket and Tebow and Latara the truth, so they hop in Baga's wagon and off they go in pursuit.
Get a nice chase scene. That was kind of fun. I don't know. I mean, there were a couple of shots I liked where they're pulling up behind the bikers on their wagon.
Yeah. It's like Indiana Jones or something.
Or like Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Exactly like that.
If you like Mad Max Fury Road, you will love Ewoks Season 2, Episode 12, Party Ewok.
She's jumping from one vehicle to the other while they're moving.
She's very courageous.
Yeah.
Right? That's exciting.
They steal back their stuff using her lasso.
Right. These pugs are out of control in their motorcycle animals.
Their vrooms.
They're frooms. Like, what is that even? They don't even run. They just drive around. Their legs don't move. Like, how is this possible?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, so Wicket quickly makes a sign using Latara's cape, her party cape, and some berries, I guess. You see that? Anyway, the sign says, "Party at the Duloc Swamp."
Yeah.
I thought that was good. The pugs drive off.
Pugs versus the Dulocs. Now that would be something I'd watch. No, just kidding. I wouldn't watch it.
No thanks. I've seen enough Dulocs.
I bet it was quite the scene, though.
And the prince is just creepy, actually.
Prince
He's just this
Delby.
weird, skinny, tall, lanky Ewok type thing.
He looks fine.
He's kind of a dog.
Yeah, I don't know what he's supposed to be, but
I mean, he kind of looks like something out of Animal Crossing.
sure, anthropomorphic dog. The lesson of this one,
Oh, yeah.
Nisa's like, my parties might not be exciting, but I'm not going to try to change who I am.
Yeah. No, it's good, though. She's being herself. Not everybody is going to throw parties. She likes collecting acorns.
And so does Prince Delby when
Hey.
he shows up.
I know. And they're both so excited about it, too. They're both just kind of like dorks. They're good. They're a good match.
I know.
In a good way. I mean that in the best sense of the word. But here's my question. What does this mean for Nisa and Wicket?
Yeah. It's like medieval time, like a good pairing here.
Oh.
Except I don't know how it works for cross species.
And the next episode throws some of these relationships up into question as well.
Exactly, yes. The second half of this episode, much more notable, so let's continue on.
Moving on.
Malani, the warrior?
Malani's not a warrior.
Well, tell that to the episode title.
I know.
Similar to Tebow trying to be a warrior. Everybody wants to be warriors, but it turns out not everybody is maybe equipped to do it.
I thought it seemed similar to Princess Latara, right? The title or whatever, and the episode, I guess, too, where it's like somebody taking on one of the other's roles. Well, I summarized the other one pretty well, I might add.
Malani wants to be a warrior?
Yeah.
Well, she wants to impress Wicket, so she tries to prove that she's a warrior, and she's not that great at it because she's a little kid. And meanwhile, some goofy elephant bandits are sneaking around trying to get the Sunstar so they can turn everything into mud to make it more like, I don't know what, their homeland or something. And they tell Malani, well, how about we'll pretend to steal it, you can help us, and then you can bravely return it to the village and they'll see how much of a warrior you are. So she helps these creatures to get the Sunstar, and then they say, actually, we're just going to keep it. And the other Ewoks to the rescue. And you learn another lesson about being yourself, not trying to be somebody you're not.
Yeah, very similar lesson. There's some relationship dynamics that we get to see more of.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see a lot, especially Malani ex Wicket. That cross.
Right. Does it feel like they're growing up just a little bit now? Because in the first season, she was a little bit older, and she was all about Wicket and how great he was.
Right.
And this season, she's kind of felt too young to even be thinking along those lines until this episode.
Yep. It is clearly stated she has a big crush on Wicket in this episode, which they never mentioned in this season. Also, Wicket has a crush on not Nisa.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nisa. He's crushing on Charita, who is that side character that we saw a couple times in the friend group with the older Ewoks.
Yeah, one of those characters that we keep wanting to see more of, and we do.
Right, and she actually has a few lines. I was surprised.
But she mostly sees Wicket as a walkling.
Right, like how Wicket sees Malani as a walkling. These age gaps. It's like, come on, look for love among your peers. That's probably the safest bet.
Give them all a few years, they'll see things a little differently. And you're right, there really hasn't been anything about Nisa and Wicket in this season, has there?
I don't know. To me, it's just a given.
Well, yeah. Like, I'm not really worried about it. And I don't care that much.
What?
But they set you up to expect certain characters to be together, and you kind of want it to keep going that way, so...
We want a happy ending for all of our Ewok friends.
And it's some kind of a warrior games...
The Warrior Games.
You don't really see much of it either. Like, that's not the point of the episode.
No. I feel like I would have rather just watched some Warrior Games.
Yeah, wrestling over a mud pit.
Yeah, duel on a log over a mud pit. Pretty cool. That's Weechi, right?
Yeah, Weechi.
Wrestling with Charita up on the log.
Well, and we find out at the end that those two are going out.
Yeah, exactly. Charita has to turn down Wicket's invitation to
Spoilers.
canoe with him because she's got a date with Weechi.
Yeah, but Wicket is just obviously doing the old cartoon heart's eye thing.
She's pretty cool.
Can you imagine if people's eyes actually turned into hearts when they were in love?
That'd really give it away.
Yeah.
Hard to hide that. Any thoughts on these weird elephant bandit creatures?
Yeah.
I was okay with these guys.
Yeah.
I thought they were. I mean, they're just silly enough that I kind of got a kick out of his accent and the way they're sneaking around.
Sure.
I don't know. They're like these anteater things. Their names are Bothell and Trud. They don't have a species name. There's that shopkeeper anteater. I was wondering if that's like the same species.
Oh.
Whatever his name was.
Yeah, it could be.
And they have kind of a strange accent. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. The way they're dressed too, it feels like a stereotype.
Some kind of
Like Eastern European.
Yeah, but I
Kinda
can't
what I
quite
was
tell
thinking.
what the stereotype is supposed to be. But-
Yeah, or Jewish maybe.
Yeah, gypsy, maybe. Hard to tell. Like, one guy's got a bowler hat, the other one has a top hat. They both have these big mustaches.
Yeah.
But their accent, to me, reminded me of Dorf, Tim Conway's character.
Yeah, dwarf.
Aha! Here we are.
Where are we, Bother?
At the Ewok village, you imbecile.
Whoa!
Now, to get the Sun Star and turn the forest into heaven, paradise.
Mud! All mud! Mud everywhere, yeah! but, how are we going to get the Sun Star, Bother?
Simple, Trud. We'll steal it.
Man, you're so right. They totally sound like dwarf. Well,
Dwarf.
okay. Oh man.
And his accent is supposed to be kind of exaggerated Swedish accent, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
sometimes made me think of Swedish or Danish or something.
Or a little bit maybe like Gru from Despicable Me. Like, it doesn't feel quite like a real accent. It's like they mashed a few things together.
Sure.
The Sunster?
That's like the Swedish chef.
That's what it sounds like, though.
Yeah, it's accurate.
So their plan is to try to steal the Sun Star and make everything mud.
Hey, I was going to mention this. They kind of have their own theme music, which is this piece of classical music that keeps playing. It's Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky. And we have heard it before in Star Wars. They played it in The Great Heap.
Oh, yeah. I remember you mentioned that before.
And it was pretty random there. Kind of random here, too, except that they use it as more of a theme music for those characters. So it happens more than just once for a few seconds.
Yeah, it kind of fits with the cartoon. They notice Malani wants to be a warrior because that's who Wicket likes. Wicket likes the girl warrior.
Yeah, she says that, Wicket likes warrior girls, huh?
Yeah, warrior
Well,
girl.
I could do that.
They're going to use that to their advantage and like trick her into getting them the Sunstar. First, we see this whole setup to try to impress Wicket. Malani's going to pretend to rescue Tebow. This is kind of crazy.
She kind of gets herself into trouble. Needs rescuing. She's trying to swing down from a vine, kind of like Wicket was doing in his training exercises.
Right.
Swing over and basically just pick up Tebow from another branch, but she aims wrong and like almost falls onto some three-headed snake.
Yeah.
Right? What is that thing?
But Charita rescues her.
Yeah, how embarrassing.
Yeah, but so Malani is just kind of going around by herself in the forest, whining about wanting to be a warrior and those anteaters. So they overhear her.
They managed to convince Malani that, hey, you want to be a great warrior? You know what great warriors do? They rescue things that have been stolen. So, they twist Malani into getting her to steal the Sunstar and give it to them, and then she could pretend to rescue it. But naturally, they just nope, now we're actually stealing it.
Yeah, I liked his line there too. Well, there's been a change of plans. We're gonna steal it for real.
Yeah.
The other Ewoks see Malani run off with the Sunstar. They're like, that's not good.
Yeah.
What is she doing?
But they openly state that she's pretending to be a warrior because she has a crush on Wicket.
What's Malani doing trying to stop those lurdos?
Probably trying to impress you, Wicket. She has a crush on you.
Yeah, but you ignore her, just like Charita ignores you, and Latara ignores me.
That's right, Tebow.
Yeah.
That's right, Tebow.
She's got a smile on her face though, right? She likes it.
What the heck? She totally even acknowledges that she's ignoring him. That's so bad.
Yeah, they're trying to turn everything into mud because they like mud so much they would eat it if they could.
Great. It's a pretty great thing to do with the Sunstar.
I mean, that's as big as their ambitions get, apparently.
Yeah.
So the other Ewoks kind of come in riding, some kind of snails?
Racklings. Well, Tebow calls them.
Mm-hmm.
He does this really stupid calling to the animals.
Oh, yeah.
Tebow, call over those racklings.
Sure.
Yeah, he throws in Malani, and he also throws in Latara, who's not relevant. Like, at least they could say, we're trying to save Malani. I don't know.
I don't know.
what he's trying to
It's
say.
not any different from the way C-3PO translates things. Right?
Oh, yeah.
When he's talking to the Ewoks, he just throws in words like Darth
Putting in
Vader,
some names.
boom.
Yeah.
That's so true.
You get a nice chase scene, very much like in The New King.
Yeah.
People grabbing the Sunstar, grabbing it again from somebody else, throwing it around. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Tebow uses the Sunstar to reverse the mud, or harden it anyways, and our intrepid duo of thieves found themselves encased in it and stuck, and Wicket leaves them there to starve.
They're stuck in the mud.
You guys always think everybody's just gonna starve.
We don't see what happens to them.
But yeah, they go back to the village. Wicket doesn't get to go out with Charita because she's dating his older brother.
So he goes for a canoe ride with Malani.
Yeah, he agrees to go with her, it's nice of him.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
And then the series ends.
That's it.
Just like it started. A bunch of Ewoks.
A bunch of Ewoks having fun. I'm thinking again about the theme song, the videos that go along with their theme songs. They do show just lots of little bits of things that Ewoks do for fun. Sometimes they're having adventures, sometimes they're just hanging out around the fire. And I could imagine that that's just what they're going to continue doing for the foreseeable future.
Until we see them again in episode 6.
And after that, they're going to keep doing it till episode 9. Oh, I had something else I was going to talk about that I forgot before. Like the amount of screen time you get with Ewoks.
Oh, yeah?
I was doing some calculating a while ago. Each episode is 22 minutes, so I just multiplied that by number of episodes, right? And then added the running time for the 2 live-action movies. And you put that up against everything else up to this point,
Right.
which is the original movies, the Droids cartoon, and I guess the holiday special. But they pretty much they're pretty even, or maybe a few minutes more. So at this stage, Ewoks are the main characters of Star Wars. This is what the series is really all about.
I always knew it. The Ewoks are the best part of Star Wars.
Wow.
I still want to watch the end of Return of the Jedi at some point here. Well, this is fresh in my mind, and just start in the middle and pretend the Ewoks are the main characters.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get to do episode 1 next, although we'll see. We might be a few small things in between.
Yeah, we've got a few ideas of bits and pieces of things we might want to cover before we jump into the next era of Star Wars.
What an era it will be.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. The focus is different. Most of what we get after this is kind of prequel related, right?
Yeah.
Any closing statements? I feel like we should have some big thing to end this with, but
We're done. We're done with the Ewoks.
we'll end our series on Ewoks like the series itself ended. Just kind of, oh, that's it.
Yep.
We're done now.
I'll make some shirts. We survived the Ewoks cartoon.
Sounds
Survived all of the Ewoks, not just the cartoons, but the movies themselves.
Sure.
Yeah, we won't see them again for a very long time. So, farewell, Ewoks. Have fun in the forest until we meet again.
Yeah. We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when. That's probably copyrighted. Never mind.